netball outfit, but I'm proud of my netball outfit, guys, because I've got myself healthy again. I've got myself right again, ladies and gents. It's a pleasure to be with you in the final jump in January of 2023. And so I'm so super excited. And I will tell you this, right? I had 9 shots at goal and your girl scored 8. Oh, she is back. I don't know if it's got anything to do with the old empowered and that, but all I can tell you is I was on fire. Holy Spirit was up in me today, like, yo, Nikki, close your eyes, and boom! It was going through, it was superb. I actually absolutely loved it. I love it when I win. I love it winning. How do you know what I'm talking about? You love it when you're winning, okay? Winning is great, right? You come up on a high, you're super excited, you know, you're having, you know, the time of your life, your mindset's in a great mindset, right? But how do you behave when you lose? How do you behave when you're not winning? How do you behave when you don't see things the way that you want to see them, okay? And so today's mindset, the final jump in January for our healthy challenge. And shout out to everyone. If you're part of the healthy challenge, just go ahead and type healthy in the chat. We might get some testimonials from you all right? But just put healthy in the chat if you are. But the final healthy challenge call for the month of January, we are here, is entitled Healthy Emotions, right? Healthy Emotions. And for those of you that are indeed taking notes, please make sure that you take your notes so that you can refer back to them, and also as well give yourself you know, some key actions that you can take away. But I thought we'd end it on, you know, healthy emotions. And we've gone through some incredible sessions. Go ahead and type in the chat the sessions that we've gone through. We've gone through healthy tongue. We went through healthy mind. We went through healthy heart. We went through healthy businesses, healthy decision-making, healthy relationships. What else have we been through? All right. So we've gone through a whole, you know, we went through some stuff in this month of January. Healthy body. You guys have been working out. I've been seeing you tagging me in, you know, doing all of the amazing physical work, but most importantly, the mental and spiritual work. And so I believe that it's extremely important to finalize on healthy emotions, because I think when we understand our emotions and understand how to ultimately charge ourselves up, we are going to be able to sustain the goals that we've set ourselves and keep going. How many of you know that most people, they do things, a lot of people, you hear them say, you know, it takes 21 days to form a habit. Who's heard that? I don't believe that. Because how many of you, I can tell you this, when I was getting married, I had my amazing Chigs personal trainer. He was training me 21 days straight. I worked out, I lost so much weight, I got myself in time. But guess what happened? After the goal had happened, the wedding happened, I'm like, well, let me get back to eating again. So it's not 21 days to form a habit, ladies and gents. That's a lie, right? It's not. After 21 days, you may have developed a muscle to continue the habit, but what's going to get you to continue it is actually the desire to do it. It's the mindset. It's changing your mindset that's going to get you to be in a position to be able to sustain, you know, the new behaviors, the new habits, the new goals. And so healthy emotions, let's call it healthy habits as well, because we've got to make sure that we have the right habits, you know, in order to control those emotions, you know, that's going to come up. And like anything, anytime you set a goal, anytime you set yourself, if you're somebody who sets, you know, goals that are going to stretch you, which hopefully we have all established that no one sets easy goals, what's the point, right? You want to set a goal that's going to stretch you, that's going to help you grow, all right? Then normally what happens when you set that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with you, is an obstacle comes your way. Destruction, some kind of, you know, so let me change the way I see this so I can see you all. Look at your beautiful faces. Excellent. So you know, things happen, obstacles happen. How many of you right now can tell me that you're going through something? Put a 7 in the chat. I don't know your business, but just say there's something that you've got going on. And that something that you've got going on could easily stop you from doing what it is that you need to do. In fact, I tell you this, that probably the reason why you continue is a factor that's probably external to you. Maybe it is your children. So you can't stay in bed all day. You can't sulk because they need you to feed them. They need you to do the routine, right? What else is it that stops you from folding? Sometimes we have these external things, right? And, you know, we call them our why. Yep, the why, right? And that's why they say you really have to make sure you have your why, because if your why don't make you cry, ladies and gents, it's not really your why. And I didn't really, for a long time, I didn't have my why. I'll be honest, I didn't have my why. I said, you know, I wanted to get a house, I wanted to treat the kids, but it really wasn't a why, because like we wasn't suffering, if that makes sense. It was a nice thing to upgrade the house, but we wasn't suffering. It didn't really make me cry. And if I'm honest, what makes me cry is when I think about my mom and knowing that, you know, my mom's not well and, you know, she's struggling in the house that she has, and, you know, she needs to move, and, you know, her mental health isn't in the right place. And when I realized that actually, although my children, my internal household is the people that I look after like 24/7, they are actually okay. And they're not driving me to the point where I want to over deliver. Does that make sense? So that isn't gonna push me. But when I speak to my mom and I hear my mom cry, and when I speak to Anton's mom and I hear the goals that Anton's mom has, and they're getting on in life, and I know the sacrifices that they made for us, there's something that triggers me to go harder. I don't know about you, but I really want to encourage you to really look at your why. Is it really your why? What is your why? What's that deep-rooted reason why you must succeed? Who are going to be the beneficiaries? And a lot of people say, you know, charity and all this other. I ain't being funny. Think deeper than what you think everyone wants you to say and what you think sounds good. Really think about what is that real reason why you want to win, because that's going to be a very, very good starting point to helping you control your emotions. I tell you this, when I was, I think I was about 18, 19 when I first started, you know, the bank. And, you know, I've mentioned Chigs already, but he can tell you, I was very, very feisty when I was younger. I didn't have, you know, I didn't have a corporate bone in my body, if I'm honest, right? And I went through this whole corporate journey, you know, up until about 18, 19. And I didn't really have anyone to really coach me or mentor me inside that banking world, because most people, they just thought that I was just, you know, I was just raw, too rough, and nobody really wanted to challenge me. But there was one woman, I don't know if you remember her, Chigs, Jo Lewis, her name was, right? This lady called Jo Lewis. And I remember this, right? I'll tell you this, sometimes you really have to, you know, think back to certain things. I remember one time Jo Lewis pulled me into the room, and I'm saying was because it's past tense, I was a blagger, guys. I had raw results. I don't know if you're like this, but you can just get raw results. Like, you don't need to rehearse. You don't need to like, I never studied for any of my GCSEs, any of my exams. I just had a raw talent of getting the answers right. Like, I don't know how, you know, I just say it's God. It was the Holy Spirit giving me the answers, but I would go into an exam and get A's and B's without revising. I've lived my entire life up until the point where, you know, not revising almost got me into trouble. I was just living my life feeling so extra blessed that I didn't have to master a skill set, that I could go in and wing it. And I got promoted again, just through hard work and just, you know, having the gift of the gab. And I got promoted to bank manager. And when I got promoted to bank manager, it was a different area, different jurisdiction. And now Jo Lewis became my area manager. Now, I've always been, like, the area manager has always been a man. So this is the first time I'm like really having to answer to this, you know, this woman. And she reminded me, she didn't look like her, but you know, that sort of authoritative head teacher type figure that you don't want to play with? That was Jo Lewis. And so as a bank manager, you have to submit your reports, you know, all the time, like every quarter. Who's your top performers? How much have you made? And one thing with me, my bank was always number one. I always made the most money. I always did the best sales. We always were performing. And so my performance had always got me to hide the rest of the, you know, the mess. But Joe Lewis called me in one time, and I remember we had to submit some reports. It was like an 8-page report. And what happens is the inspectors, what do you call them again, Chigs? The inspectors come in every now and again, a little bit like the school's Ofsted, but the ones for the bank. And they come in and they give you an assessment, okay, on your safety, your security, if you're doing all the right things. And the money side, boom, no one could touch us. Bank making pure money. All the rest, guys, slap that. Sherry, we're gonna lie to you, like, things that were supposed to be double signed were single signed, things that were supposed to be da-da-da, whatever. And so what we'd normally do with my old area managers, they would come in a day before the people and help us just correct the little thing. Paperwork was just not my, you know, forte. And where I was before, I always had an amazing, like, you know, assistant manager who would just pick up the slack. I'm the girl that goes out on the front and I'm gonna do all the hard work and I'm gonna get the strategy done. And somebody else who likes paperwork will sort all that out. But now anyway, I've come to a new area and I didn't have an assistant yet. I was still, you know, interviewing for assistants. And so this was all left to me. And so I'm used to being the spoiled brat, the teacher's pet, because I get all the money, because I'm doing all the top stuff. No one is going to pull me up. And so the first time I sit down with Jo, she's gone to page, I think it was page 2. Because the first page is just your details, the branch, all of that. So she's gone to page 2 of the report and she's gone, okay, so where are these, you know, where are these charts? And where's some other guys? I did not know. You know, it's like, where's the reports? Where are these ledgers? And I'm like, oh, I'm sure they're there. They're in the cupboard. You know, when you just don't know what to say. And she looked at me, and I know that page 6 and page 7 banging. So I just wanted to skip to the you know, page 6, 7 where I, you know, overperformed, and she's stuck on page 2, right? And she's like, okay, cool. So what I'll do is I'll come back tomorrow and we'll have a look at page 2. I'm thinking, tomorrow? I want to see you tomorrow. Let's get it all done with now. So now Joe Lewis petrified me, guys. Like, so I'm thinking, okay, cool. So here's what I did before, like, I got a few of my other colleagues to come and help me sort out page 2. So she comes back the next day, goes through page 2. She's looking at it, heart's beating. She's like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Then we get to page 3 now. She's looking at page 3, going through page 3. And then right at the bottom, she's added up the ledger and the money didn't add up. And she's like, did you add this? Because I said, oh, no, one of the other cashiers added it. But she's like, yeah, but you signed it. I'm like, yeah, I signed it. She's like, so you didn't check it? And I'm like, let me double check. You don't know what to say. She's like, yeah, okay, I made a mistake. Okay, cool. I'll come back tomorrow. I'm like, no, can we go to page 4? Then I'll think, how about no, we'll come back tomorrow. So now I'm there correcting page 4. Okay, so I think, you know what, let me just correct page 5 as well, just in case, I know 6 and 7 on point. So she comes back the next day, scrutinizes everything, and my heart's beating. And let me tell you this, all the other branch managers, because now I'm just like getting annoyed at her, innit? Now I just can't stand her. I hate this woman. She's just too picky for me. Like, why can't, like, she bullying me? Maybe she's racist, like she hates me. Like, you know, you start to build up all this stuff in your mind about this person, call up the other branch managers from the other thing, and they're like, nope, she does the same to us, mate. One person even quit because she, you know, she did it. And don't get it twisted. I'm saying it in a nice way. Jo was like, she didn't play. So sometimes you hear certain words come out of her mouth, you're like, right, is this even allowed to be said? Are you allowed to talk to me like this? Like back in them days in banking, there was no one calling HR. Like, people were scared to call HR. Like, you didn't do things like that. And so people actually like moved areas because of her. Some people couldn't manage her. And the ones that stayed were just like, listen, Nick, just do it. Just do what it needs to be done. Because when you do, and I'm getting up in my emotions, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting up in my emotions. I built up a whole story in my head, how this woman is this woman is that, this woman is that. Now, by the time she came back to the branch 4 times, okay, I'm like, okay, cool, we're now at page 6. Yeah, page 6. Come on, this is where I'm gonna get celebrated. This is where I'm gonna get, like, you know, the little pat on the back, everything good. I know page 6 and 7. She finds a problem with page 6 and 7 as well. I'm like, this woman is different. And I remember going home telling my ex-husband at the time, and I'm like, no, I hate this woman. She hates me. She don't like me. But guess what I did? I stayed up the whole night and looked at the entire report. I scrutinized it. I called one of the other bank managers. We went over it consistently. You know what Joe Lewis did? She made me better. She made me, you see, like, I don't play with standards no more. She made me so better. She made me better to the point where no one could touch me. In fact, by the time I finished with my report, I was the one giving testimony. I was the one on the call. She was like, so Nick, tell us, how did you do on your report? Tell us, what did you do there? She used me as an example now because she knew that my standard was in alignment with what it was that she was saying. And sometimes what happens is we get up in our feelings in a time where we should be growing. We get up in our feelings in a time where we should be able to see the blessing and the lesson behind what's going on. Have you ever had someone that annoys you so much, but they make you better? Have you ever had someone that, listen, when she comes along, you know that you got to do things right. When she comes along, she gonna pull out the bits that you think, really? Like, how do you see that? Sometimes, guys, I tell you this. You want to be around people that their standard is excellence. You want to be around people that they're so good that you even feel a bit nervous because you want to make sure that the levels are the levels. You know, the other day, you know, similar thing happened. I sent something substandard. You know, like when you just forward a message, right? I didn't check it, had a typo, forwarded a message to one of my mentors, and he was just like, what is this? Now, let me just tell you this, guys. If you want to raise the bar, write this on your paper. If I want to raise the bar, I must control my emotions in correction. If I want to raise the bar, I must control my emotions in correction. Now, here's the thing. We got to reverse engineer that now. Who's correcting you? Who's actually correcting you? Because you didn't qualify people to correct you. Right? You didn't qualify people that can actually make you feel better to the point where you might even dislike them, to the point where you get annoyed, to the point where they get under your skin because their standard is so high it makes you feel uncomfortable. Joe Lewis, her training, by the end of me being within her jurisdiction in the first year, I was #1 bank manager in the country for West Norwood and Tulse Hill branch. That was because I crossed my I's and dot my T's so much. I was petrified of her coming to check it and then she'd be back the next day. Because remember, when the area manager's not there, you run the team how you would run the team. So the more days she's there, the more stress the team are. Like, Nikki, she coming back tomorrow, right? Like some of the team, they used to go hairdressers, coming late. We used to run the team. Like, I was a good manager. Like, yo, if you worked under me, I was a fun manager, right? I was a fun manager. I let you, go hairdressers coming late. We would close early, go down the pub, go bowling. Like we used to have a lot, but when she's there now, the team's all like, customers loved us. As long as we were making the money and hitting our target, my team were good. We would have a good time. And so I knew that this woman, she was on it. She was checking. You couldn't pull the wool over her eyes. Some of you hang around people because you can pull the wool over their eyes. There's some people that will be scared to hang around you because your standards are too high. Don't take it personal. They just can't handle it. They just can't manage their emotions, because what happens is people then begin to attack the very source that should be helping them to grow. Come on now. We've all been there. I didn't even realize until after my relationship with Joe Lewis was sort of over, when I left that department, that she was one of the best things that happened to me, because it forced me to level up. Sometimes we're a roost of our own, like cub. We're just running around doing our own thing. There's no one really, there to help us. No one really there to keep us growing. And so we're just wild cats. But let me tell you this. I was saying this to one of my friends the other day, and I don't know if there's any ladies who can, or men on the call who you can say this about your wives. Any men on the call get annoyed or fed up or just jarred because their woman always tells them what to wear, right? For me, I remember just annoying the hell out of Anton. Like, I'm like, no, we're gonna wear this, you're gonna wear that. I'll go shopping. One time he actually said to me in a shop, can I pick what I want to wear today? I was like, let me choose. I'm better at it. Let me choose, right? But here's the thing. Let me give you a tip, men. You don't want to be concerned when she's bossing you around and telling you what to wear. You want to be concerned when she stops doing that, because that means she don't care, right? Sometimes the ones that's correcting you the most, that's on your neck the most, that is pushing you the most, that's annoying you the most, is because they care. If they stop, that's when you need to be worried. If they stop checking in, that's when you need to be worried. Come on, ladies, tell me now. When you've checked out, you stop. I mean, when they're in the doghouse, like, oh, what do you think I should wear? Now they want you to tell them what to wear. What do you think I should wear? Anything. Up to you. You pick. Your choice. Yeah, they both look good. Monotone, dead. Right? I'm giving away the game to the men on the call. Take notes. Right? Take notes. You're complaining she's bossy. You're complaining she's telling you what to do. It's not that time you need to complain. You need to complain to your boys. You know, she hasn't even called to say, ask me where I am. You know, she didn't even tell me what to wear today. She just, you know, bruh, think funny, bruh, it's all 11 o'clock. She ain't even called it. She's checked out. She's checked out. And so it's the ones that are stressing you, stepping on your neck. They're the ones that are showing you that they care. Don't misinterpret. Don't misinterpret correction for hate. Don't misinterpret correction for racism. Don't misinterpret correction. Sometimes the ones that love you the most are going to correct you the most. They're going to come to you the most. They're going to risk their relationship with you to tell you the truth. I see some of you guys are triggered from that. It's cool. I'm here to bless you today. So how do you control your emotions? What do you do to control your emotions? Like, in time, the first thing you got to understand, guys, is that you have positive and negative emotions, right? Emotions are normal. I hear a lot of people say, you know, no emotions and all this stuff. No, you have to have emotions. You can't not have emotions. Emotions are normal, right? And if there's anything that you're going to take away from this call, is that emotions are normal. If you don't have emotions, you're not human. You're one of the robots that I saw the other day filling up petrol, all right? You are human. Every human is going to have emotions, right? Now, you have negative emotions, you have positive emotions, right? So your negative emotions, come on, type them in the chat for me, are things like fear, rejection. How many of you have ever felt rejection? Oh, I've battled with rejection for a long time. Someone didn't invite me somewhere, or I got missed off the list, and, you know, rejection is a big one. You assume that everyone wants to leave you out and no one wants to be your friend. Anxiety, skepticism, thinking everyone that's coming to you wants to take from you and steal from you and everyone's evil. Have you ever heard this word, guys? Jealousy, doubt, all them things. Have you ever heard when somebody's saying something, they use the word everybody? Have you ever heard that? That is one of the things that I'm so mega sensitive on, and I correct it every time. Everyone's fake. Sorry, there are now 8 billion people in the world. You're referring to 4 people that were fake against you. Everyone isn't fake. Stop affirming that everybody is fake. Everybody is, you know, negative, and everybody wants to steal from you. Stop using the word everybody. You've had a few situations where a few people have let you down, a few people who probably have been let down themselves, hurt people, and now you are tarnishing the entire human race, 8 billion people, and say everybody is wicked. Everybody hates you. Let me just be honest, guys. Everybody don't even know you. Like, I had to humble myself and be like, Nikki, stop saying everybody. You ain't that big, girl. Nobody even knows you. Not even a drop in the ocean. You got 8,000 little Instagram followers, and you think everybody don't even know you. When you're going through your stuff and you're hiding away, feeling ashamed, that's another one. Defeated, failure, and you're hiding. Maybe you're going through something and you're hiding away and thinking everybody's laughing at you, or everybody's talking about, who is everybody? Everybody don't know you. Let me just be honest. Everybody has their stuff going on. Most people probably don't even realize that, you know, here's another one that happens. I'm gonna say this, right? Where people announce that they're back. Hey guys, I'm back. That is one of my pet peeves. Guys, don't announce that you're back. People probably didn't realize that you was gone. Like, just be normal. Hey guys, I'm back on Facebook. Right? Hey guys, I'm back. Listen, people have got on with their lives. They don't know that you disappeared. In fact, when you say, hey, I'm back, you know what that means? I was inconsistent and now I'm ready to be consistent again. I disappeared and now I'm ready to appear again. And guess what? If you're a mentor, if you're a coach, if you're somebody that wants to look after people, I wouldn't want to be mentored by someone who keeps saying, hey, I'm back, because that means you're going to leave me. That means you're going to disappear on me. I don't want that. So even if you do disappear, don't highlight it. Don't be telling everybody, hey, I'm back. You may want to say, hey guys, I got a new promotion. Do that. That sounds better. But don't say, hey, listen, we got to control our emotions. Not everything's about you. Everybody don't know you. Everybody's not laughing at you. Everybody don't even know that you're going through something. And there's 8 billion people in this world. Am I hitting some points here, guys? Are you guys feeling this? Are you understand? This is what I have to say to myself. Because when I was feeling ashamed, I was going through a divorce, I was like, oh my God, everybody's going to think I'm a failure. Everybody don't know you, Nikki. You ain't that special, Nikki. Like, in all respect, at the time I had 1,000 followers. Like, really, Nikki? There is no everybody. and probably half of those don't even remember who I am, right? So all these negative emotions that we tell ourselves, we're failures, we're this, we're that, you know, we've let people down and we're doing this. Most people probably won't even realize. Even if you had the worst case situation ever, most people don't even realize. It's news today and gone tomorrow. I promise you that. It's not that deep. And we got to get rid of the shame, the guilt, the explaining to people. All these emotions just build up in ourselves and we feel worse off for it. And guess what? We don't do what we're supposed to do because now we're deep in these negative emotions. And then you have your positive emotions. Come on, guys. What are the positive emotions? We have gratitude, love, peace, confidence, patience, security, calm, positive, encourage. Now, these things does not mean that nothing happens to us in life. It doesn't mean that things are not going on. Guys, you wouldn't know that one of the toughest times of my life happened last year, and I was still showing up, same energy, same mindset. I never missed a day. I'm focused, I'm pushing, I'm doing what needs to be done because I learned how to control my emotions, that despite what's happening in the physical, I'm going to keep showing up. Why? Because my why is too big. My children are watching. When my children watch me and I listen to my kids and I listen to what they say, Mommy, I see your consistency. Mommy, I want to do this. Mommy, I want to do that. They don't say what I say to them and what I tell them. They say what they see. I'm just being honest, right? They say what they see. And so I know they're watching me. I could hide from the internet, right? And I tell you this, them internet streets are savage. You can hide from the internet streets. You can hide from the people out on the road. I can hide from my netball team, but I can't hide from who's watching me inside my house. I can't hide from the commitments that I've made to the people that I say that when I win big, they are going to win big as well. I can't hide from that. So no matter what I'm going through, I have to have what they call a resilience in me. This is some emotional intelligence so that I can push through despite what it is that I'm going through. Because I'm just going to keep it absolutely real that there's a lot of people out there going through what you're going through, right? But pushing through either way and winning on a bigger scale. There's people with less qualifications than you. There's people with less money than you, less resources than you. There's some people that probably will look at you and wish they had your situation, going hard, going hard, going hard. And that doesn't, you know, diminish what you're going through. What it is it's saying there is a choice. Someone write that down. There is a choice. There's a choice. And emotional maturity is a big one. Let me tell you this. Emotional maturity is confronting what it is that you have in front of you and asking yourself this question: is this in my control? If it's in my control, what do I need to do to fix it? If it's not in my control, hear what? I ain't going to cry about it, because crying about it ain't going to bring it back. Crying about it ain't going to fix it. Crying about it isn't going to change it. All it's going to do is put me in what? Negative emotions. Now, some of us, what we need to do is heal. Some of us, what we need to do is grieve. And I don't just mean grieving a loss like death. I mean grieving some past relationships, some people that let us down, some past losses. How many of you are still thinking about someone who stole money from you 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and you're still hoping they're going to give you the money back? Listen, let it go. They ain't giving you the money back. They're gone. They ain't giving you the money back. Stop hoping on it, because it's weighing you down. Forget it. Let it go. Someone type let it go if you know you got to let some stuff go. Forgive them. Let it go. Because I tell you this now, all of that negative energy is stopping you from being your best self. It's stopping you from pushing through. It's stopping you from trusting again. It's stopping you from allowing the very thing. One of the affirmations I put in our mentorship chat today was, I am open and receptive to who God puts in my life to bless me to be able to get to where he wants me to go. I am not going to hurt, abuse, disrespect, dishonor who God puts in my life, because I can't deal with the fact that someone loves me enough to tell me the truth. Someone loves me enough to push me to be the best version of myself. Someone loves me enough to correct me. Can I take correction? Yes, it hurts. It stings. It stings. It stings feeling like you're not good enough. It stings feeling like you haven't hit the mark. It stings feeling like you need to change a little bit. But that's the beauty of life, which is growth. That's how you grow. And so I had to say to myself, okay, Nikki, how do I get these negative emotions? And by the way, guys, the negative emotions, they bring you further away from your goal. Because when you're in a negative emotion, when you're in a state of negative emotions, what do? Nothing. Who do you trust? The wrong people. How many of you, let me tell you a personal story. I was in a negative emotion and I made a decision without double checking myself, right? This is about 7-8 months ago, maybe longer. And I ended up handing some money over to somebody who I had no business handing the money over, and they robbed me, plain and day. Right? Weren't a little bit of money either. It's about $6,000 worth. But if I wasn't in a negative emotion, in fact, I would almost say desperate emotion, where my mind was thinking about something else, right? I would have crossed my T's and dot my I's. I wouldn't have moved in haste. That's why it's important to have accountability. That's why it's important to make sure that you have a checklist. So before you make decisions, have you ever heard this? Never make a decision in an emotional situation. Wait until you've sat down to think about it. That's why they don't allow people that have mental health issues to sign contracts, because their mind is not right to sign it. So you should never make decisions from a place of emotion until you're able to reflect to make sure that you're making the right decision. We got to get a hang over our emotions. Some of us are too easy to fight what it is that's ready to help us get the breakthrough. How many of us know we fold too quick sometimes? How many of us know that sometimes, we did the healthy challenge in January and some people didn't bother. Like some people just stopped. You see some people thriving and going for it and going for it. And by the way, we're going to announce the winner of that healthy challenge at the end of this call. But you saw some people that were just consistent, showing up consistently, putting their best foot forward, pushing through despite what they were going through. And then you saw some people that just stopped. It's January right now, and I tell you this, a lot of people's vision boards are under the bed. A lot of people's vision boards have been taken down. A lot of people ain't doing what they promised themselves they said they were going to do in January. And that's not because they don't have the skill, ladies and gents. That's because they haven't got a grip over their emotions. How do you get a grip over your emotions? Is by your vision. Write this down. The vision is the ability to plan and think about the future with your imagination. I'm going to say that again. The vision is the ability to plan and think about the future with imagination. That is what the future is. That is what the vision is. The ability to plan and think about the future with imagination. So my question is what are you thinking about? What are you seeing? How do you get your imagination to start thinking? Guys, when your back's against the wall, when the attacks come, what does your imagination do? Does it think of faith or does it think of fear? Do you start to panic? Do you start to stress? Do you start to speak negative? Oh my gosh, this is such a bad situation. Oh my God, this is horrible. Oh my God, I'm going to fail. Oh my God, this is a disaster. And now you start to affirm all of these negative words. And guess what happens? The definition of future is what? A moment in time from the moment you write it or speak it. So the future is the moment you write it or speak it. So when you start to say, oh, this is terrible, this is negative, this is, you've now spoken that into what? Your future. So when you see certain things come to you, you say, that ain't my portion. Listen, one day I had about 7 parking tickets and they came to my door. And like with me, I don't do the letters. I'll leave that to Anton. Anton opened the letters. Anton's like, you got this meeting. That's not my portion, bro. That ain't my portion. I ain't even touching them things. I don't touch them. I'm not touching them. I don't even want to know about them. Like, just get them away from me. I am not touching them things. I have to get my mind right. Listen, I'm not looking at that right now. I'm looking at tomorrow when I prayed, when I put myself in the right mood, and then I'm gonna peel them one by one, right? But sometimes you get this stuff, oh my days, oh, this is so much stress. And what have you done? You spoke it into the future. This is why we don't say the T word. This is why I'm allergic to negativity. This is why when people quit before they start, I'm like, you need personal development. You need personal development. It's not that you can't do it. It's that you don't believe you can do it. And there's a big difference. You have the skill, you have the talent, but you don't believe in yourself enough. So how do you control your emotions? How do you get into a state of believing? Well, the first thing you need to do is know what your triggers are. What are your triggers, right? Now, this doesn't mean that things can't happen out of the blue, but what triggers you? I'll tell you what triggers me, letters. I get anxiety. I'm like, listen, Anton, do not give me letters before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Let me do my mindset. Let me pray. Let me get myself, like, I don't want no letters. I don't know letters. I don't do letters. I know that these things are triggers, right? So I have a set time. We have a set time when we open letters. We open the letters this time, that time, and that's it. Done. Right? Negative people trigger me. So you know what I do? I limit myself. Sometimes, let's not say you cut them out, because sometimes there are some negative people that you have to have in your life, i.e. sometimes it's parents, i.e. sometimes it's, you know, people that you work with that you have to communicate with, but you limit the time that you assign with your mindset to that individual. Sometimes you have to control, I'm just being honest. Am I allowed to be honest on here? You just control the negative situation, but you keep it to a limit. And the minute it starts going negative, I'm like, okay, cool, I've got to go, right? But I'll call you back, right? You know my favorite word, guys? You should practice it. Don't ever co-sign and don't align yourself to negativity. You know what I say? You want me to teach you? The words you don't say is okay. If you say okay, you are in agreement with the negativity. Some of us are getting in agreement with negativity too much. Here's what you say. Wow. Wow. I never thought of it like that. Wow. I'm not even using a whole, just wow. End. That is a whole sentence. Wow. Right? Stop getting in agreement with negativity. Serious. Anything. It doesn't have to be people. Could be situations. How many of you know that there's a certain situation, every time you get yourself in that situation, you feel bad? For me, I've learned I have to stop speeding, because as parking tickets come and I get myself in trouble. I've had to look at the root cause. Nikki, you don't like this feeling. So what do you need to do to avoid that feeling coming? Stop speeding. You know, I was actually told by my dad, he said, why don't you downgrade your car to a car that can't drive so fast? I was like, are you crazy? downgrade my car. Like the thought of it petrified me. Like it literally did. Sometimes you gotta have some, what's the word? Some reparations if you break your own rules. You gotta start to write some new rules for yourself. Don't give these things energy. Some of you give people energy that they don't even need to get out of you. One thing I don't do, let me tell you this, guys, haters, I don't even have haters anymore. I don't see them, right? But haters, you don't give haters responses. I'm just giving you some tips here, because what you do, that's energy that you fuel, not in indirects on your posts, not in talking about it. Stop telling 3 people the same story. Like, don't do it. You're just feeding the negative emotion. How many of you had an issue with someone? You told one person, okay, but then you're ringing 2, 3 different people, telling the same story like 3, 4 times. That energy is going around your body, right? Some things are just, they don't need an answer. You don't need to find a meme. You don't need to find some video to put in your story to counteract it or to say it. You don't need to throw shade or put little drop words, as my mom would say. You don't need to do anything, because I understand the power of the emotion, and however it is that you're thinking, however it is that you're behaving, that will come into your life. And so it's not down to you. Let me tell you this as well. It's not down to you to administer justice on anyone. Leave that to God. God will handle, he will fight all your battles. You do not. Have you ever looked at one of your haters or one of the people that who's done you bad and seen that they're not doing very well? Have you ever seen that people that do you bad end up in a situation where you're like, I didn't even have to do anything? Jesus. Sometimes you end up having to pray for them, because if you understand the word and you say that you are a man or woman of God, you understand that you are protected. You should never, ever, ever trouble people of God. I'll tell you that for facts, because God don't like it. God don't like it at all. He don't like it. And so you have to have a comfort. This is why peace comes, a peace that surpasses all understanding. If you believe that you are a man or woman of God and he is your protector, he is the one that covers you. He's in control, right? We all believe that he formed us before we could even think, before our parents could even think. So if we were formed, if there was a purpose for our life before we were even thought of, do we not, like, it's a little bit insulting to God if you think that you getting mad is going to change the situation. Like, it's a little bit you're a little bit up in your own feelings if you think that he hasn't got things under control. Like, you have a trust issue with your creator if you're going to get mad and take things into your own hands because you don't really believe that he is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords and he's sorted out everything. So if you believe that you are covered by whoever you believe covers you, God, Jesus, Allah, your creator, whoever, right? You believe that you are covered. Put a yes in the chat. Do you believe that you are blessed? Do you believe that there is an almighty above you, that you are not the one that controls the heavens and the earth? You are not the one that's in control of your life. In fact, you are here today breathing not by your own might or your own will. So if he is in control, why are you worried? Every situation that you've been through, that you've overcome, has he not sorted it out? Has he not provided? Has he not got you through when you thought there was no way through? This is how I feel, guys. I have a peace that surpasses all understanding. There must be a reason for this season. I must know why this is going on. So I have to eliminate or limit those triggers. And what do? I replace it with things that's going to get me in a good mood, that's going to help my emotions be positive. One of the things for me, guys, is music. How many of you listen to music? How many of you have a certain genre of music when you listen to it, you can't help but feel good, right? You've always got to look. You've always got to look for ways to believe. So you have your positive music. Yet there's some people that you speak to all the time, probably the ones you run away from talking to, but the people that you know, if you call them, they're going to be positive in your life. Yes or yes? Sometimes you don't want to call them because you think, oh, they're going to be too positive. Right now, I just need to be angry. Right now, I just need to cuss. Right now, I just need to just go wild. I watched a running video the other day with one of my friend's wives, and she was doing a little video and she was showing somebody cut her up on the streets and her calling her husband cussing. There's always that one person who, you know, you can just call and vent and just go crazy on. Yeah, I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl. I ain't gonna say none of that, right? Because we're gonna move very, very quickly into the stages of recovery, into the stages of, okay, what are we gonna do about it? You want us to go in the yellow pages or the directory to go find who cut you up? Should we do a whole investigation? Should we put an advert out on Facebook to see if we can go find them? Did you get license plates? Should we go hunt them down? Because there's a whole lot of wasted energy right now, right? And so we really have to get to a place where we ask ourselves, is it in my control? 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 I need to control my emotions. I need to make sure that I'm looking at this from the right perspective. I am alive. And from I have life, there is hope. And so we got to be careful. Here's another one for you. I will not make permanent decisions in temporary situations. That's a sucker. Can you imagine during that moment of Joe correcting me, I told her to suck her mother or something, or I just went crazy on her. Now, like, could you imagine I would have got fired for something in that temporary moment of just anxiety, anxious? Like, sometimes we do crazy stuff for no reason. We hurt ourselves. We actually, the reaction of the situation is what's worse than the situation itself. Sometimes the situation isn't bad, it's how we handle the situation. How do you handle the situations? How do you handle the situations? How do you look at things? Let me tell you this. If you are somebody that has a responsibility, maybe you're a parent, maybe you have leadership responsibilities, you teach, you mentor, put a 7 in the chat. I'm gonna close this out here. How many of you want to grow your influence? What if I told you that to grow your influence requires an emotional intelligence level from you that is above where you currently are right now? Because your emotional intelligence now has got you this far. So that means that there's a growing that needs to take place to expand your territory. How you used to react to things now requires a calculated response. And so we got to get to a place now where we understand that there are the people that we lead are watching us. Now, if you don't lead anyone at the moment, but you have an aspiration to lead, or you have an aspiration to grow your territory, ask yourself this question: would I lead me based on my emotional intelligence? Based on the things that I let trigger me? Based on the things that I allow to get to me? Would I be happy to be led by me? And if the answer is no, then where do you need to grow? What areas do you need to develop in? Is it your affirmations? How many times are you saying your affirmations a day? I mentioned this on one of our calls, to set your alarm 3 times a day to recite those affirmations. Guys, I used to be a hothead. I used to be a hothead. And now I actually think, sometimes even I take time before I respond to certain things. If I respond, it's okay not to respond to stuff. You guys know that, right? Let me give you a license right now to not respond to everything. You don't have to respond to everything. Sometimes, actually, not responding is a response. Not responding is a response. Oh my gosh, you remember that, chicks? That is That is an awful memory to respond. That is evil. Oh my God. Oh my days. I forgot about that. Okay, so now I'm going to have to tell everybody what it is, because Chigs is just, this is why you can't have people from your past hanging around you guys. So they're going to bring out the past. They're going to remind you of your dirty ways. One day when I used to work in Chigs' branch, I used to be his cash manager, right? I used to manage Chigs. Seeing as we are airing each other out on this call, Chigs was one of them cashiers. They used to take ages for me to get his money from him all the time, okay? Bare slow all the time, taking his time to get his money together, because he mastered every single person's name. So he was talking to every person he served. He used to say their name. There was one customer with about 7-syllable name from Sri Lanka. He mastered it, and he was so excited to say the man's name every single time. He was chatting, always chatting to people's, and so it used to take ages to make his money. Anyway, one day, I had a fight in the bank. I did have a fight, guys. I mean, I had a fight, a whole fight. And they all had to come around and break it up. You know what it's like, break it up. So Chigs reminded me of something that I had a fight with. No, the girl she was asking for it, to be fair. I was right, but I wasn't right. I shouldn't have had a fight. I shouldn't have fought her, but we did fight. And that was just a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake. I told you guys, I had a hot head. But I had to calm it down, because I only lost it is the grace of God I didn't lose my job that day. Because it was one of the other staff members. It wasn't a customer. I mean, I nearly had a fight with a customer as well once. But this was a member of staff, and she was just at me. I couldn't take it anymore, and I just licked her over. And it just all kicked off in the staff room, and Chigs came back. Hey, this is not doing well for my friend right now. But it shows growth, guys. I'll be honest, I was 18, 19 years old, I can't remember. And I just wouldn't take nothing from no one. But now I've realized that, you know, no one deserves to destroy my brand, right? My brand is more important than proving a point to somebody else. In fact, now I don't even share certain things on my page. I don't, like, certain people will tag me in. I don't reshare their stuff because they're not in alignment with the branding that I have. I'm so protective over my brand. Now, this is a reverse, because before I was a people pleaser. So I wanted to please everyone. Anything goes, just to show that now I'm very selective on who I allow into my space and who I allow to draw me out. Very few people can draw me out. I can calm as a cucumber. Let me tell you this. I can have the biggest argument with my husband. You guys will never know. I'll come on here happy as Larry. I mean, Antoine, me and him could have an argument and I'm silent. I'm like, cool. We'll think about it. And that's the worst thing. You know, the word says the soft answer turneth away wrath. Like, you have to learn how to control your emotions. The people that can control their emotions the most, make the most money, have the best relationships, grow, learn. And you know, sometimes you can say sorry. Like, this is another thing. You sometimes saying sorry will free you. This one will be too high level for some people. You know, I've actually said sorry to people that I didn't think I was in the wrong. Sorry for the part I played in this situation. And I don't want it to go any further. Oh yeah. Let me teach you. Sorry for the part that I played in this situation. I don't want it to go any further. Now, what it is another story, because that could be our last conversation in life. But I'm free now. I've let that go. It doesn't mean that we're going to be pals again. It doesn't mean that we're going to have a whole situation, but I'm letting this situation go. Now, you got to make sure it's genuine. Don't be saying, you know, sorry if I offended you. All that is cobwash. I ain't hearing none of that. Sorry if I offended you. You know you offended me. That's why we have a situation. So no sorry if I offended you. We don't play that game. Genuine. Sorry for the part that I played in this situation. Freedom. My freedom is worth more than playing this petty game of me being right over you. I don't care. My freedom is worth more. My brand is worth more. My freedom is worth more. My business is worth more. My children are worth more. My bills are worth more. I don't have the time to hold up anything in my emotions, because when I'm up in my emotions, it blocks me from being productive to what it is that I want to achieve. Who do you need to apologize to? Who do you need to let go in your heart? What's the phone call you need to make that maybe has been bothering you for a while? Make it. This is your warning that your blessing is attached to your obedience. You holding on to grudges, you can't get your blessing. It's blocking you. Everyone's not against you. Nobody is looking at you any type of way. And if they are, you don't even need those people anyway. But this whole, they're all out to get me, they're not out to get you. No one's out to get you. We're not going to affirm that anymore. But you've got to release to be able to move forward. Put on some positive music. Affirm yourself. Have a morning routine so that you're positive. Structure things that trigger you that maybe you have to deal with, but get them into a position where it's not going to take over your day. Negative news. I don't watch the news, guys. I do not watch the news. In fact, I don't watch TV, right? Most I watch is my little sports, Man U for life, don't know who watch the weekend, you get me, yeah, right? But I don't watch TV. I ain't got no business watching TV. Too much negative stuff on there. I definitely ain't watching the news. I'm definitely not watching all this stuff. Like, so many people like to send negative stuff and call it awareness. I don't need you to make me aware, thank you. I don't want to have awareness. Unless you're talking to me about doing something, hey, look, this is what's happening. Can we go and fix it? Fine. Don't give me, I don't want to know awareness. Just let me know there's a stabbing around the corner. Why are you just letting me know? Why you want to let me know? Why? Because that's gossip, right? Is that gossip? What is the purpose of letting me know there was a, do you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to really think about why we're trigger sharers. We just like sharing things, but why? Now, what you can share is jokes. I love jokes. That's going to keep my energy. Listen, you guys don't even know, behind the scenes, I laugh. I love laughing. I have funny, like anything funny, right? And funny is obviously perspective, but I love funny stuff. Don't tell me you give me awareness and show me the news and stuff. I don't want to know anything like that, because that's going to mess up my mind. It messes up my emotions. I watched something before I went to my bed last time, and I'll tell you, Anton said I was kicking him up in the bed and everything. I was warring in the bed. Like, my spirit is sensitive. Like, bang, you punch him in the face before I was in the metaverse, right? So you've got to make sure you control those triggers. Control the triggers. Set yourself some things off of today so that you don't let your emotions make you make the wrong choices. You know, sometimes a lot of things are repairable, but some things you can't repair once you damage them. And so just make sure you're not damaging things during an emotional time. Because guess what? This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Every situation is temporary. We are here temporary. So whilst we are here, let's make the impact that we want to make. Let's be who it is that we've been called to be, so our name will still be mentioned even when we're gone. The people will remember us for the right thing. You know what? And I'm going to close on this. You remember John Pierce, Chigs? John Pierce was the manager of the branch where I had the fight. And I remember he dragged me in the office. And he said some things to me. I can't even repeat. I don't even think they're allowed to say things like this to people in the banks anymore. But he said some things to me privately that made me cry my eyes out. He was like, you're a nasty little word. He gave it to me after that fight. He did. And again, I hated him. But it was the best thing he ever did. Because at that point, I realized I didn't want to be known for being that, you know, the traditional angry Black woman. I didn't want to be known for being an aggressor. I didn't want to be known for being the hot-headed girl anymore. I didn't want that title over me anymore. And so that was the day I decided to change the perception of what they thought of me. And that took time. I had to work on it. And guess what? How they look at you today isn't how they're going to look at you tomorrow. You are the person that can change that. Because guess what? I then, you know, got promoted to another branch, then was branch manager, then went into HR. The rest was history. I didn't carry that title with me anymore because I decided to change. But let me just be honest with you guys, and this is something that I had to be honest about myself, was that so many people were saying the same thing. I was falling out and having fights too often. Like, how many fights do you have? You could say, okay, I have one fight here, you have one fight, but how come you're always fighting people? You're on the train, you're having a fight. I had a fight on the train, I had a fight on the bus, I was fighting in the branch, I was fighting. Like, why are you always fighting with people? You've got to self-reflect. Why is it that people are always saying that you're this? It may not be that you're this, but that may be the perception. So you got to have self-reflection. You got to have that reality check, Naz, and you got to say to yourself, why would they look at it like that? Is there any truth in it? Is there something I need to work on? Because I didn't want that to be my story. And we all, from this life, we all can have the narrative of the story that we want people to see. We want people to know us for. That's why you don't post everything on your social media, because that's your brand. You're telling people what you want them to know you for on your social media, right? You're telling people what you want them to know you for by how you speak, by how you respond to situations. So if I'm one of your friends and I'm like, listen, people are either going to say, oh, she's a hothead, or wow, she's resilient, she's strong. Yeah, they were saying that, but she didn't even respond. Yeah, that was different. The way she handled that, boom. Yeah, I want to work with her because I've seen all she went through and look how she's still standing. Yeah, I want that person to mentor me. Do you know how many people message me every day, Nikki, can you mentor me? Nikki, can you mentor me? Based on what? Based on the content that I put on my social media, based on my consistency that I keep showing up. I ain't saying, hey, I'm back, right? I'm consistent. You are going to be judged by what it is that you put out there for yourself. And we've all got to work on it. Guys, I'm not perfect. There's times where I start typing and I stop. I'm like, Nikki, okay? And then you got someone that said, what would Jesus do? This is something that David said to me the other day. He said to me, Nikki, what would Jesus do? I said, oh, don't tell me about what would Jesus do, because now I'm done. Now I'm done. So you gotta ask yourself. You gotta ask yourself. Think of somebody that you aspire to be like and say, what would they do? And that may stop you from doing a lot, but it also may get you to start doing a lot. The things that you procrastinate on, oh, I'm tired, but what would Jesus do? Okay, let me go do it. Oh yeah, I can sign this because no one will know. Ah, but what would Jesus do? Oh, I could do this little deal around here, but what would you see what I'm saying? Everything you ask yourself. Sometimes when I'm booking into a hotel and I see the pictures, I'm like, would David stay here? No, I'm not staying here, right? I have my standards based on the people that I aspire to be like. I'm like, okay, what would they do? If I put this event space, would he speak here? Would he do this here? Would he? If you want to raise your bar, you've got to align it with that. You've got to say to yourself, okay, what would this person do? What would that do? What would the future me do? Some of you got to live like the future you. Stop living like the broke you. Stop living like the you that you were used to back in the day. Start living like the future you. Go in first class. Go to the hotels that you naturally wouldn't go to. Put yourself in an environment around people that you aspire to be around. Get your emotions right. Experiences is another thing that's going to help your emotions. Go test drive the car. Go visit the house. Go into the areas that you want to be. Listen, there's something that happens to your emotion when you stretch that elastic band and go into a place where you desire to be in your future. You kickstart that quick. I've been saying this for a long time, but some of you ain't doing it. Put it down in your paper. Go on a house viewing. Go on a test drive for that car. Go and do it. Make it happen for yourself. And so, guys, I'm so proud to announce that next month is Focus and Fly. Focus and Fly in February, okay? I'm so super excited. I'm just gonna share with you what I am gonna be focusing on and flying on. And I decided that I am not gonna shy away at home. I love my house, I'm a home girl, I love my family, love being at home. And I get invited to events, to speak and to be at events all the time. And I always say, no, 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 paid events as well. But this year I've decided to focus and fly from the month of February, and I'm going to put myself in events. I'm going to be at least at a networking event every month. And so, you know, this month already, I went to Birmingham, had an amazing time up there, right? And I'm going to be doing the same every single month for this year. I'm focusing on flying. In fact, I'm also going to be putting on my own events every single month. Like, I'm putting my mind to it. I'm saying it's already done. All right. That's my goal. I hope that you guys, you know, will put down your goals as well, right? So I'm so proud that my very first event is going to be Saturday coming. I'm a Focus and Fly. I'm going to be talking about some of the industries that I've been in, some mindset stuff, but also as well, you know, how to get the bag and, you know, how to really push to make it happen. So I'm excited about that. I've decided to focus and fly. Now, what are you going to focus and fly on? You've had some real good tools in the month of January, but how do you now, you know, build on it? How do you now make sure you stay focused? How do you now make sure that you continue doing what it is that you need to do? So here's the best part of this, guys. The best part of it is that you get to decide. You know, the word decide itself means to kill the alternative. So homicide, pesticide means to kill. Right? So decide means to kill the alternative. If you decide something, that means it's done. There's nothing else as an option. You've decided to make that money. You've decided to put yourself in the room. You've decided to be at the event. You've decided to position yourself. So decide what it is that you want for the month of February. All right? Write it down. Forgive who you need to forgive. Let go of what you need to let go. Put down exactly what you're going to do, and then make sure you have accountability. Who is it that's going to be that accountability person? Who is it that's going to help you to reach that goal? Who's going to correct you? Who is the person that loves you enough to correct you in this season? Have you given them permission to correct you? Are you open and receptive to who God blesses in your life to be able to help you achieve that vision, that mission? And so congratulations, you have officially completed Jump in January. Give yourself some celebrations. Let me unmute you all. Come on, give some energy, guys, as I announce our...
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Give me one more time, guys. I'm gonna do some content for the socials. After 3, 1, 2, 3.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go. Right. So, guys, let me just let you know our winner of our healthy challenge. I think I might do a winner every month because I think it is you know, very, very important. So our winner of the healthy challenge, Jump in January, has been somebody that has been mega consistent, like so super consistent. Despite working full time as well, this person has literally, you know, she has shown up every single day for the healthy challenge. She has been working out, she's been doing her business, she's been consistent, working full time. She has also, you know, got some incredible results as well, both business and, you know, physically. And I want you to help me as we celebrate the one and only Dr. Marcia DeVere. Let's go. Unmute yourselves if you're able to, guys, and let's celebrate Dr. Marcia. She has smashed it during this challenge, absolutely smashed it. And I'm so, so proud of her. Let's celebrate her. Unmute, unmute, unmute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Well done.
I'm not sure if she's
Amazing.
on. I'm not sure if she's on, but we'll send her the replay. Is Dr. Marcia on? I'm not sure if she's here, or maybe she's at work. She does this multitasking stuff. I don't know how she does it. She's on a different time zone as well. She's also in South Florida. And this woman has just decided that she's going to make things happen. And so I'm so super proud of her. If you do know Dr. Marcia, send her a private message, send some love, tag her in on social media, let her know that we see her. And, you know, her consistency has been very, very, very impressive indeed. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I'll see as many of you as possible at the event on Saturday in London. It will also be live streamed as well for those of you that are out of different locations. But I just want to say I celebrate each and every one of you. I'm excited for the month of February, where we are going to indeed focus and fly. Okay, so one more thing, guys, let me just stop this, is to put